JS is a weird language, and it has so many secrets and advanced tips. In this playlist, we are going to deep dive into every single one of them one by one. Let's see. Object that has own property. What is it and what this is exactly doing? For understanding it deeply, you definitely need to understand what are prototypes in JavaScript and what is prototypal inheritance and blah blah blah. But in here, I want to just tell you what is it and what is it exactly doing in the simplest way to have a solid understanding of it. Okay, imagine I created a user object in here and the object only has name and company. For example, now if I say user dot has own property of name, it would return true. If I say company, it returns true. But if I say to a string, it returns false. This means that my user object doesn't have to string in it. But this can be existed in the user, but not in the user prototypes. Because user is a class or object which is created from object class. An object class has two string property, so I can say, for example, user dot to string, which is returning this for me. This to string exists on every object, but it is not directly exist in the user. Okay, now let's do two interesting things with this object. In here we have a user, and such as you already saw, has own property to a string returns false. But we can mutate the user object and add to a string to it and make it an empty function which is returning 200s. Okay, now if I use user dot to a string and run it, it is now returning 200s. It's not returning the object such as we saw already in here. And now if I log the user, you can see we have a toString in here. And if I say user dot has own property to a string, now it is returning true. But what if I delete it? If I run it again, it's now returning false, not true. And if I use user.toString, I again see the object because the toString exists on prototype in user. What if I want to remove that proto toString in user? Okay, I can use something like this. User dot underline proto, which is called dunderdown, to a string. It's equal to a function which is returning, for example, 500s. Okay, now if I use user has own property to a string, it returns false. And if I use user to a string, now it is returning 500. If you need to know more about prototypal inheritance and .proto in JavaScript, you definitely need to watch my related video in my JS Quiz Explained playlist YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel.